The first 5 albums that you ever got, which ones were they? The first albums that got you listening to the music that you currently listen to today, which ones were they? This question probably takes you down memory lane, and for me, it takes me back to a time when I was 11 to 12 years old, and my family was living in a country called Malawi, which is in southeastern Africa. Malawi, the warm heart of Africa. And this is about like 1994 going on to 95. Malawi was a really, really cool place to grow up in. I have the fondest memories of my time there growing up with my family. It's truly a place that is dear to my heart. And but you know, there was no mall, there were no malls, there were no CD stores, there was no McDonald's. Everything closed at 6. There was no internet. This is before the internet, so nobody had the internet. And yeah, there was just a lot of riding bikes and spending time in the garden. We had a huge garden. But anyways, so the only way to get music if you were a 11, 12-year-old kid into music was to get music from your friends, you know. So I gravitated towards people who liked rock and like the heavier stuff. And down the street from me, 2 houses down from me, lived my friend Michael. Michael was from the US, and he got all his music from his older brother Anthony. These next 5 albums are what was available to me at that time, and they changed my life. So here we go. Up first, we've got Appetite for Destruction. Yes, so this album was given to me as a tape. Michael made me a copy of a tape, and I went home and I listened to it, and it changed my world forever. I didn't, listening to this was like, I don't know, experiencing some type of drug. You know, I didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? It made my blood pump faster, and really got me going. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. The first time you heard something that really blew your mind. First time somebody gave you, I don't know, Iron Maiden or AC/DC or Metallica, whatever it is, or Guns N' Roses, you know that feeling. That's you can't describe it, and it just changed your life. And that's when you decided, this is what I need to listen to. This is, where can I get myself more of this? It made me come alive, this type of stuff. And this is such a classic album. Still today is one of my favorite albums of all time. Welcome to the Jungle, It's So Easy, Night Train, Out to Get Me, Mr. Brownstone, Paradise City, My Michelle, Sweet Child of Mine, Rocket Queen. There's maybe two songs on here that are like, yeah, they're okay, but this whole album in general is amazing. This was like the first thing that I got into, so I'm very glad that it did. And also look at these guys. So picture in the back, I remember looking at these guys, and I thought they were so cool looking. I was like, yeah, one day I'm gonna be like these guys. All right. The second album I got was Countdown to Extinction by Megadeth. There's a great album. Brings me back so many great memories listening to this. I believe I borrowed this CD, and then I got a copy from Michael. This, once again, is from Michael. So he got all his CDs or his music from his older brother, who was off to college, and he would come and visit. So, Countdown to, Skin of My Teeth, Symphony of Destruction, Foreclosure of a Dream, Sweating Bullets, This Was My Life, Countdown to Extinction. That is an amazing song. All these songs are great. Psychotron, Ashes in Your Mouth. Man, yeah. This was definitely, so this was number 2. Great album. Number 3 is Smash by the Offspring. Now, around the age of like 11, I just had turned 12. I was hanging out, this is before I even got Appetite for Destruction, but I was hanging out with my sisters. We were in a hotel room in Morocco. My family was vacationing there. That's where I'm originally from. And they were watching MTV. So they're watching MTV. And this was 1994, summer of 94. And a song by this band came out, and it was called Come Out and Play. You know that song, You Gotta Keep Them Separated? Yeah. So I watched it, and I was like mesmerized. And I didn't know which band it was, but I was like, ah. And then my parents came in the room, and they're like, okay, let's go to lunch. And they grabbed me like, ah, so I had to go to lunch. But I didn't know who the band was. I just knew that I liked that song, and I thought I was mesmerized. So, my sisters knew this. And so a few months later, maybe like 6 months later, we're hanging out at Michael's house because our families were friends, and my sisters were there, and they were hanging out with Anthony, his older brother. They were chilling in the garage while I was with Michael in his room, and in the garage he was playing a CD, and a song came on the radio, and it was got to come out and play. So my sisters, when they were like, "Oh, this is a song that our brother likes," and then they asked him, "What song is this by who?" And he was like, "Oh, it's the Offspring." So then my sisters ran into the house, and they're like, "Hey, you know that song you really like? It's by this band." So yeah, so then I told my dad, "Hey, can you get me this this album?" So the next time my dad was on a work trip, he went to New York, and he came back with the tape. So he got me the tape of Smash, and I listened to this so many times. It's a great album, a lot of great songs on here. It brings back a lot of memories. Thanks, Dad. I really appreciate it. Okay, so this next album is one that I got from a friend at school called Jamie, a British kid, and he liked rock too. And he, we bonded, and he came to school one day with a copy of a tape, and it was of this album right here, "Vulgar Display of Power" by Pantera. This album blew my face off. Like, this was the heaviest thing that I had listened to thus far. And in many regards, it still is one of the heaviest things that I have listened to today. It is one of my favorite albums of all time, Vulgar Display of Power. And I was like a 12-year-old kid. Remember being in my bedroom, in my bed at night. I was going to sleep, and I was listening to this on my Walkman. And I remember being terrified. I was terrified, yet at the same time, so drawn and attracted to it. I thought Phil Anselmo's voice was the coolest voice ever. I thought he sounded really mean, and I thought that this guy could probably beat the living shit out of me. And man, I mean, you guys, many of you guys might know this album. I'm sure you know of this album, but I'm just saying, "Mouth for War," "A New Level," "Walk," "Hostile," "This Love," "Rise," "No Good," "Living in a Hole," "Regular People," "By Demons Be Driven," and "Hollow." This entire album is awesome and blew me away. One of my favorite albums of all time, Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power. Fun thing about this record. So when he gave me the tape, he mislabeled it. They're like, "Yo, you gotta check out this band, Pantera. They're from Brazil." And he gave me the tape. And for a whole year, I was listening to that tape, thinking that this band was from Brazil. And I was like, "Oh, it makes sense. Pantera, sounds like a, yeah." So, but no. And then later on, when I learned more about Pantera and just the metal scene in general, the music world of metal, I realized that no, these guys are from Texas, and the band he was talking about was Sepultura. So that was pretty funny. Now, the same friend also gave me a copy of this tape. Well, it's a record, but I got it as a copy of a tape. "Ride the Lightning." Classic album. I think one of the greatest metal albums of all time. This one right here. "Fight Fire with Fire," "Ride the Lightning," "For Whom the Bell Tolls," "Fade to Black," "Trapped Under Ice," "Escape," "Creeping Death," "Call of the Cthulhu." An amazing album. I remember listening to this, and "Fade to Black," such a sad, beautiful song. And I was only a little kid, but I connected with that song. Regardless, it's just, how can you not? You know what I mean? So glad I got this one. This was a good one to have when you're just starting to get into metal. Okay, now I know this is 5 albums that got you into the music that you like, but I can't omit this one because it was very important at the time. And this is like, these 6 albums here at one point were all I had, and that's all I was listening to. So this one I also got from Michael. Astro-Creep 2000 by White Zombie. Talk about an album that terrified and scared the living crap out of me. This is like listening to a horror movie, and everything from the inside. And for those of you who have looked inside here, know that there's some pretty steamy stuff in here, especially for a little 12, 13-year-old kid like myself back in the day. But yeah, I remember my friends and I were all about this band. There was like, the musical, there was the dance, or how they would say in the United States, like homecoming or whatever. So we had like a little, they're called like disco nights, I think. So anyways, here we're all like little middle schoolers, and my four friends and I, we kept wanting the DJ. We kept going up to the DJ and being like, play this one song from this album, play this one. We had the CD and we're like, play this song, you know? And he didn't do it, but he did it like maybe like 2 hours towards the end of the dance. He played More Human Than Human from this CD. And I remember my friends and I, we went crazy. We're the only people on the floor and we're headbanging like wild animals. Yeah, this was a great CD. And just look at these guys. Just look at them. You know, I remember looking at them and just thinking like, whoa, these dudes like probably like crazy and doing all these drugs, and they're definitely satanic. They definitely worship the devil. I gotta listen to this. No, so yeah. So anyways, what do you guys think? Do you know these albums? Were they also a gateway to you to like to like heavy metal? If not, what are your 5 albums that got you into listening to the music that you listen to? I want to hear them. I want to know about them in the comments. But also, I did this video as part of a challenge, a contest, 500 subs contest. I recently got into the 500 club. I think right now I have like 550, which is pretty cool, you know, a little channel like mine. But I was tagged originally by a channel called George G's Room of Rock as far as this contest. So this is my response to him. And part of the challenge is also to mention some channels, 5 channels that you also watch. So I'm going to go through them. So number 1, George G's Room of Rock. Check that channel out. George is a cool guy. He makes a lot of cool videos. I like watching his videos. I learn a lot about bands and about albums through watching his stuff. So check that out. Give him a like and definitely subscribe to his channel. Number 2, Darren in the Studio. Now this guy is from England, I believe, and he makes a lot of cool videos. Talks a lot about, goes deep on some music and some bands and some records. Really cool stuff. Definitely check him out. Funny thing is a few weeks ago, he left a comment on my channel about how him and I, we might be brothers from another mother because, you know, and he just left it at that. And I was like, what's this guy talking about? I checked out his videos and he's, you know, if you see any of his videos, you'll notice that we have the same hair. It's like black and like this. So it's pretty funny. So definitely check out Darren in the Studio, like and subscribe to his stuff. Number 3, we got Low Noise Transmit. This guy makes a lot of videos. He's got a huge collection, mostly vinyl, but he also does CDs and tapes. Really cool guy. Definitely check out his stuff as well. Like and subscribe to his channel. Number 4, I Love Macaroni. So this is a young YouTuber. She makes all her videos got taken down recently. I don't know why, but all that's left now are playlists, music playlists. But when she did make videos, it was, you know, she was a collector of vinyl and she loves Metallica and Kirk Hammett. She would make a lot of videos about him, but also about Stranger Things. She would make a lot of videos related to Stranger Things. I'm a big Stranger Things fan, so I enjoyed watching that. Check out her channel, give her a like and a subscribe, and hopefully, you know, maybe she'll make videos again. And number 5, the Chill Dude on a Couch. Chill Dude on a Couch makes a lot of videos, a lot of reviews of new albums coming out, and he also interviews bands. Seems like a really cool guy. I enjoy watching his videos. Definitely check him out and also give him a subscribe. So that's it. That's all I got for you for today. Thank you for watching. You know, if you haven't already, give me a like and a subscribe. I also really would love it if you let me know in the comments where you are watching from, because I just love hearing from you guys. Seriously, I read all the comments. I try to respond to all of them. I really appreciate all of you. I've been getting comments from everywhere. I've been getting comments from Germany, from Denmark, from Australia, from the Philippines, Indonesia, from the United Arab Emirates, from Brazil, all over the US, from Canada, where else? Everywhere. So just let me know. From Russia, from Japan. So just let me know where you guys are watching from. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Oh, and then in my next video, I'm going to be talking about the first CD I ever bought. First CD I ever bought was by Iron Maiden. So keep an eye out for that one. It's coming out next. And hope you guys are all doing well. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.